Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another stupendous episode of Help for the Guildless. My name, of course, is Antoine, and good God, has there been a shitstorm a-brewing for the last week and a half or so. There have been two major events. One I'm going to be talking about today, the other I'm going to be talking about another time. You, of course, clicked on this link to listen because of the name, PewDiePie. Now, I want to state at the very beginning, I have never seen a PewDiePie video, not one. I am not a fan, but I do know who he is because, well, I happen to be a subscriber of Markiplier, and Markiplier has done collaborations with PewDiePie. I don't know if that counts as watching a PewDiePie video, because if it does, then yes, I've seen one. But if it doesn't, I've never seen one. I'm not a fan. But something else I am definitely not a fan of is slander. What I'm not a fan of is a reputable journal attacking a YouTuber. What I'm not a fan of is calling out false fascism just because it can get you clicks. Just like everyone else, I know what happened. I've heard the stories, I've heard the Amazing Atheist talk about it, Chris Raygun talk about it, Sargon of Akkad, Mundane Matt, Computing Forever. Everyone has talked about PewDiePie and the Wall Street Journal. PewDiePie himself has talked about the Wall Street Journal. So I'm not going to get into that. I want to talk about a little bit of the aftermath of what's been happening and the ridiculous nature of, well, outrage culture. So first and foremost, PewDiePie's words to the Wall Street Journal in his response are perfect. I'm still making videos, I'm still making money, and fuck you. Good on you, sir. I'm not being hyperbolic or sarcastic in any way when I say PewDiePie is the biggest YouTuber on the platform with over 54 million subscribers. He is the top dog, as it were. If he is number one, us on this channel here are somewhere in the millions. I have no idea what possessed the Wall Street Journal to go after PewDiePie. Now, there is something interesting that has come about. The first one being that J.K. Rowling, a woman who has introduced generations to the fantasy world and the fantasy genre of movies and books and video games and plays to this amazing world of fantasy, probably introducing them and getting them interested in things like Dungeons and Dragons or Final Fantasy or Doctor Who. And she decides that she's going to tweet out the Wall Street Journal's article and call PewDiePie the new edgy fascist. J.K. Rowling apparently didn't look into what she was promoting. When you promote something like that to the thousands and thousands of followers she has on Twitter and Facebook, you are throwing your hat in the ring with them and what they believe and what they stand for. Now, the Wall Street Journal is very reputable, but J.K. Rowling got a ton of backlash from her fans. Most deserved backlash. And since I'm a follower of hers, I too was going to say something. And once I clicked on her thing with all of the replies, thousands of replies, I noticed that every single one of them was telling her she's wrong. So did I reply to her? No. It's beating a dead horse at this present time. But this is a trend, apparently, because another YouTuber that I almost unsubscribed from because of this bullshit in the Magic the Gathering community did the same thing. threw his hat in with the Wall Street Journal, calling PewDiePie a fascist and a Nazi sympathizer and a Hitler activist. I almost unsubscribed. I'm not going to. I do enjoy his content. But I am going to call him out. Wedge from the Manosaurs went on Twitter, supported the Wall Street Journal, and then, when got the backlash that he is so deserved for speaking without knowing what he's talking about, decided to take a break from Twitter because of the trolls and the hate, say stupid things, wins stupid prizes. The Amazing Atheist brought up an amazing point. It's in his name, it's Amazing Atheist, amazing point. What he brought up is that J.K. Rowling gave us Rita Skeeter, a woman who is so entrenched in the biggest newspaper in the Wizarding world that she knows she holds the key to make or break someone. She is as corrupt as possible, taking every shortcut she possibly can, embellishing where it doesn't need to be embellished, and telling the story she thinks people want to hear. Creating that character and then doing something like this falls deeply into the well of irony. She should know better than to blatantly believe the media, no matter how reputable the source. And then we get to the Wall Street Journal itself, who took time to go through just a few of PewDiePie's videos. Now, I want to point something out, and I think it's important. On this channel, which has 53 subscribers, there is about 200 or so videos, and that's with, before I started, videos coming out sporadically, sometimes 3 a week, sometimes 1 a month. But now, for the most part, there's a weekly schedule of 1 video, from me at least, a week, and 1 from Cole every 2 weeks, and then if he uploads from his stream or whatever. There were 9 videos that they found, which, if PewDiePie did this on purpose, it's absolutely comedic genius. But if he didn't, good on him, it's still pretty fucking funny. What I'm talking about is the number 9 is also no in German. Nazi relationship there. 9. Anyway, 9 of his videos. So, take that small scale for a second. With Help for the Guildless, 9 videos out of, I think we have 200 plus. That's about 5%, right? Just about 5%. Out of 200, 5% is not that much. PewDiePie, who's been doing this for years, I believe 10 years, who makes a living off of this, and anybody who makes a living off of YouTube knows you upload daily because you need that revenue stream. So he's been, let's just say he's been doing it for 10 years, but he's only been uploading 1 video a week for 10 years. Well, there are 52 weeks in a year, so 52 times 10 is 520. Even then, out of 520 videos, 9 of them have this satire in them. That is less than 1%. Less than 1%. PewDiePie uploads videos daily. He probably has thousands, if not tens of thousands of videos, and 9 are the issue. That's something like 0.00001% of his content that you decided to cherry pick. Are you fucking kidding me, Wall Street Journal? If that's not shady fucking journalism, I don't know what is. I only bring that up because none of the other YouTubers have actually said it. Not even Vernaculus, who was actually quite impressive in his research. 9 videos. And each one, he was doing exactly the same thing that he always does. He reacts to things. The one with Jesus saying Hitler did nothing wrong, PewDiePie didn't make that video. He was responding to that video. The one that everybody keeps bringing up with the two foreign kids, two foreign boys holding up the death to Jews, and then they scream out, "Subscribe to Keemstar." He didn't know what they were going to do. He just asked them what they would do for $5. They chose to do it, and he reacted to it. But the real kicker here is the brass clackers that the Wall Street Journal really has. You see, after they ran this hit piece and slandered PewDiePie all over the internet, where other mainstream media outlets picked it up and ran with it, they contacted him for the first time. You see, before they did this, they contacted his sponsors. They didn't contact Felix personally. They contacted his sponsors for the specific reason of informing them of what was going on, knowing that this reaction was going to happen. And anybody who says, "Oh no, they didn't know that was going to happen," you are an idiot. Anyone who is that dense doesn't deserve to call themselves a journalist, let alone be intelligently called a journalist. They knew exactly what they were doing. After they slandered him, they contacted him and said, "If you need a platform to respond, we'll give you one." Excuse me, Wall Street Journal? It's time to come into the now. It's current year, 2017. The internet. You've heard of it because you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook, and you have a YouTube channel. It is time to wake the fuck up. The man has 54 million subscribers. His YouTube channel is his fucking platform. And believe it or not, by the time you had contacted him, he had already responded to you. And 54 million people have access to that response, if not more. That takes some fucking balls. You decide you want to destroy him, and then you're going to offer him the ability to talk to the people through you. There you have it, folks. The Wall Street Journal is the end-all, be-all of journalism, of news, of entertainment. They declared PewDiePie dead. His channel has been shut down. He is lost to the internet ether. Oh, wait, no, that's not what happened at all. Actually, what happened, Wall Street Journal, is yes, you caused him to lose about 3,000 subscribers or so after the article came out. And in response to that, he gained 350,000 more. Good on you. You used to be reputable. After this, I'm surprised you have any subscribers whatsoever. And this is the problem we have with the culture of SJWs in today's media. It angers me to no end, where you have places like MTV giving us Decoded with Francesca "I'm a Racist" Ramsey and Lacey "I believe everything is problematic" Green. We have Vox and BuzzFeed promoting racism and sexism towards quote-unquote cis-hetero white men. You have them making victim culture of everything. And then you have the garbage part of that going into Mike. These places are the ones that are popular. These are places where people think they're getting news instead of clickbait articles. And listicles. Listicles are fun, everybody loves them. You get to read a list, your brain is happy, your mind is happy, and you're entertained. The problem is it's not fucking news. I hate the people who get all tinfoil hattish and blame the media for everything. I'm not one of those people, but in this instance, in this fucking specific instance, the media is to blame. Once mainstream media and mainstream news sites went 24/7 coverage, it stopped being about news and facts and started to being about clicks, started being about advertisers, and started being about money. Who could get the best views? Who could get the most viewers? Who could get the better ratings? And believe it or not, the truth isn't always as fantastic as people want you to believe. So we start getting media biases. I stopped going to news sites and watching the news because of obvious biases. I would go to YouTube, where, believe it or not, there are people like Philip DeFranco who are not journalists. They consider themselves a schmuck with a YouTube channel, who does better research, who does better journalism than most of the paid fucking shills out there. And when you have someone, listen really closely, Wall Street Journal, when you have someone like Boogie2988 and Philip DeFranco going against you, it's time to rethink what you're talking about. It's time to rethink your motives, because Boogie is a fucking saint. And I don't mean that hyperbolically either. I mean what that man goes through and what he has been through and still is able to put out entertainment for people and keep a happy face on. The man has the patience of a saint. And like I said, Philip DeFranco and Boogie both pride themselves on being in the middle. Not choosing a side, trying not to show bias. They want to know the facts before they speak out. That's why this thing with PewDiePie has gotten a GATE acronym. PewDieGate or PewDiePie Gate. Another one. People are hearkening this to Gamergate. It's kind of interesting, don't you think? Because something like this has suddenly divided the YouTube community. Kind of like what happened with Gamergate, dividing the gaming community. Going so far as having Ben Kuchera, that asshole from Gamergate, and gamers are dead and they don't have to be your audience and all of that bullshit, coming out and publicly saying that context does not matter. Context doesn't matter. It does. It matters so much, just because to take something out of context, to use it against someone, you're taking their words and spinning them and using them as a weapon. If context didn't matter, journalism wouldn't exist, and anything could be written about anyone, and it would have to be believed. So yes, Ben, context does matter. You don't like it right now because it's being used against you to disapprove points and whatnot. But if this was one of your friends on your side, being taken out of context, you'd be the first one to defend them, saying that their words are being taken out of context and used against them for slanderous purposes. Once again, using the tactic of, when we do it, it's okay. When you do it, it's not. I hate this, folks. Honestly. Because not only is it unfair, but the fact that it can be used like this, the fact that media and the Wall Street Journal have taken it upon themselves to end someone, or at least attempt to, is ridiculous. I don't believe what Sargon of God said, that Wall Street Journal decided to target PewDiePie because they were jealous of the revenue he brings in. But I do believe that they did this because they're afraid. Places like the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the LA Times, they're the old guard. People like Sargon of God, Vernaculus, TLDR, they're the new guard, the alternate media. They're afraid. Instead of trying to integrate, instead of trying to innovate, they try and shut down. Wake up, Wall Street. You are in a dying era. And the fact that information is at everyone's fingertips, 24/7, in the form of a phone, means that you are no longer the end-all, be-all. And that's all I really have to say. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know in the comments. If you liked what I have to say, hit like, share this around and subscribe. If you didn't like what I have to say, let me know in the comments. Maybe we can start a discourse of some sort. You can follow me on Facebook, and you can follow Cole on Twitch, Twitter, and Tumblr. Once again, this is Help for the Guildless, and my name is Antoine. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a wonderful evening.